hate to last. My name is Brian. My wife Stephanie. Conversations about marriage, parenting, relationships. Today, there's a popular phrase that goes like this: "Happy wife, happy life." You think that's accurate?
No.
Oh, okay. Come on. What you got?
Okay, so that would, in the perfect world, that would be so nice, but that's not realistic. I mean, your marriage should be not so much all about you. Even though, stop. Because you're still going
Tell
to
me more.
You're still going to get pillows later today. But no, it just shouldn't be all about you.
So I think, all right, so if you think about Ephesians 5, when it talks about husbands love your wives as Christ loves the church, he spends 7-8 verses trying to unpack the role of husbands and just like a couple for wives.
Well, okay, no.
No, I think that's important because I do think there's a heavy responsibility on a man in terms of how he loves his wife, how he cares for his wife. I think there's a responsibility there. You find it from Genesis. God expects a husband to love his wife, care for his wife, to model Christ for her. So I do, when you say happy wife, happy life, I do think a man needs to feel the weight that as a man, I got to love my wife, care for my wife, honor my wife. And you're right, but it's reciprocal, right? It's not that one is more important than the other. We're both valuable, right? We both mean a lot to the relationship. I think you're right. I think it is. I think to some extent it's important to honor you, celebrate you, happy wife, happy life. But I think you're exactly right too, that it goes both ways.
Right.
If I make it all about you, then it just doesn't. I can start feeling, kind of resentful. I can start feeling like, well, man, I never get to do anything right.
Not like you're a child.
I know, right? I can feel like it's all about my wife, right? So
right.
I think you have to have a balance. Otherwise, you almost make your wife an idol. You almost make everything about her, and I think that's not healthy.
But you know what? I do not think the season of marriage that we're in right now, I just don't think men are doing that.
Doing what? Going all out for their wife?
Oh, yeah, no.
I don't know, man.
No.
No.
And this is why I say that. No,
right.
Not to trash the men.
Yeah.
But I just don't think, I think men just have to really kind of step up on your role. I think our roles have kind of changed.
Okay.
Like, I could be making more than you.
Sure.
And there was a season in our marriage where I did bring in a bigger income than you.
Sure.
And so on. So what does that look like for your spouse? Or I just think in the day we live in, we just need to be careful, and we need to make sure we have lots of conversations about our roles, like how I'm going to show up for you spiritually, how I'm going to show up for you, how I love you, how I'm going to show up for you on how I care. Because you'll hear women even say, like, I'm looking for somebody to save me, and so on. But they don't realize when you marry someone, you're building this together.
Sure.
And so on. I remember somebody was like, they weren't too fond about who their daughter was dating. And I was kind of like, no, wait a minute. I married a teacher. And so on. So I rather it be about how that person loves me and respects me than income, status, what kind of car, and all that. I think when you add those kind of things in, it kind of messes it up.
I agree. No, I think that's super insightful about how we view marriage, how we view relationships, that it cannot just be one-sided. It really needs to be both ways. And then because things have shifted a bit in society, we got to re-examine, like, how do we both show up for it? So I think that's spot on.
I think I just look at our marriage. I think you have to look at marriage, whether you're dating, whether you're engaged, whatever it is, before you go into that relationship, you need to look at it as, this is a partnership.
That's right. I fully agree.
This is how I'm going to show up to support you, and this is how I need you to show up to support me.
Yeah, I fully agree. Now, I will say this, though, about the happy wife, happy life thing.
Oh, no.
When she is happy, it does impact the whole house. So I do think I want to give advice to the young brother out there. Listen, it is good advice early on, man. You need to make sure she in a good place, right? Because there's some value to that, right? But it's also helpful too for her to find a place where her happiness is healthy, right? You know what I mean? That her happiness is reasonable, right?
My happiness can't be built on you.
It can't.
My happiness can't be built on you.
But I ought to bring you joy how I show up and how I treat you in our relationship. I ought to bring you joy when you see me. I mean, that ought to be something when I walk in the room. I'll be some kind of spark.
I mean, I'll have some spark when I see you.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be different for everybody.
Yeah,
so if you say you're going to do something, and it could be something as small as, you know what, I'm going to cut the grass today.
Right.
If you cut the grass today, that's great.
Right.
Now, if you don't cut the grass and my grass is knee high, I'm going to have an issue. Yeah, I'm not going to be happy. But I think it just goes back to whatever you say you're going to do, you do it.
Right.
If you say
I think that's part of it, right? I think you don't always know what happy wife wants. So I think conversations and dialogue.
You know what I want.
No. Yeah. Well, this has been.
No, you know what I want.
I do, but
because that's where that talk time comes in.
Right, but I think every relationship is different, right? So I think it's important they talk so we know what each other wants.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, when you say happy wife, we don't know what happy wife wants, right? Or what it takes to get there. But if we had a conversation, we can kind of get on the same page, and we both can win in this together.
Right, because I think sometimes you can make assumptions. What you think I want, and you've done this, everybody does this. What you think I want is not what I want.
Sure.
What I want is time. What I want is just take the trash out. Watch it. Okay.
Well, like
we already know what
communication.
You want. Yes.
Communication in a relationship is so important, and so it's important to know what makes happy wife, what makes happy husband, and how do we meet each other in the middle. I think that makes all the difference in the world. Thank y'all for watching Made to Last, y'all. Listen, what are your thoughts, comments? What do you think about that phrase, happy wife, happy life? Is it accurate? Is it on point? What you think? Like, share, comment. Let's keep the conversation going. Thanks for watching Made to Last.